Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. As part of the usual, I am Cable S. Cable. Greetings and salutations, and welcome back. As you can see, we are in, this is part 2 of the unboxing of Duskmore, House of Horrors. We've already seen some interesting stuff, and, well, I'm interested to see the rest of we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 packs left. So if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe to the channel, and let's get right back into it. So first one up is the Bashful Bestie we talked about in the last one. Next after that, we have the Tunnel Surveyor. Oh yeah, Tunnel Surveyor. It's not Survivor, but Saver. So we got 3-drop, 2/2, Human Detective, 2 colorless, 1 blue. When Tunnel Surveyor enters, create a 1/1 white glimmer enchanted creature token. Next up, we have Emerge from the Cocoons, 5-drop sorcery, 4 colorless, 1 white. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain 3 life. Next up, we have Turn Inside Out. 1-drop, instant. Target creature gets +3/+0 on 10 turns, or 1-drop, just red. Gets a +3/+0 until end of turn. When it dies this turn, manifest dread. Next up, we have the Fanatic of the Hollow Ring. 4-drop, 2/2, Human Cleric, 3 colorless, 1 black. Cleric, when Fanatic of the Hollow Ring enters, each player discards a card. If you discard a card this way, draw the card. There's no may or must in that. It's a must. Okay. Next up, we have Grasping Longneck, 3-drop, 2 colors, 1 green, 4/2 creature horror. Reach, when Grasping Longneck dies, you gain 2 life. Next up, of course, Found Footage, 1-drop artifact, clue, 1 colorless. You may look at a face-down creature your opponent controls anytime. Pay 2, sack Found Footage, Surveil 2. Then draw a card. The Surveil 2, look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put them back in any number of them into your graveyard, and the rest on the top of your library in any order. Next up, we have the Bedhead Beastie, 6-drop, 5/6, 4 colorless, 2 red. Creature Beast, Menace. This creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Mountain Cycling. Tap 2. Discard this card, search your library for a mountain card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Next up, we have Baseball Bat. 2-drop, artifact, equipment, 1 green, 1 white. When Baseball Bat enters, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, tap up to 1 target creature, equip 3. Oh, there's the regular. Alright. L-Tank, the Thrice Called. 7-drop, 9/9 insect beast, 5 colorless, 2 green, trample. Whenever Almec, the Thrice Called, becomes a target spell or ability an opponent controls, draw the card. Pay 1 colorless, 1 green, discard All-Tank, the Thrice Called, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So that's the one you say his name 3 times and he appears. Okay. Interesting. Next up, we have Fear of Abduction. 6-drop, 5/5, 4 colorless, 2 white. An additional cost to cast this spell, exile a creature you control flying. When Fear of Abduction enters, exile target creature an opponent controls. When Fear of Abduction leaves the battlefield, put each card exiled with it with it into its owner's hand. I can't words. Next up, we have the Overlord of the Mistmoors. 7-drop, 6/6, Avatar Horror. It's a mythic. 5 colorless, 2 white, impending 4. Looks like a suspend cost for 4. 2 colorless, 2 white. If you cast this spell for its impending cost, it enters the battlefield with 4 time counters and isn't a creature until the last is removed. At the beginning of your end step, remove a time counter from it. Whenever Overlord of the Mistmoors enter or attacks, create 2 1/1 white insect creature tokens with flying. So impending is just the upgraded version of suspend. So we got a mythic in that deck. And then we got an edged cornfield land. Edged cornfield enters tapped unless a player has 13 or less life. Tap for green or white. And it's a hollow. And then the last one of that pack is Creeping Peeper. Yeah, 2-drop, 2/1. It's an eye, 1 colorless, 1 blue. Tap, add blue. Spend this mana only to cast an enchantment spell, unlock a door, or turn a permanent face up. Okay. Next up. We got a manifest, but a spirit token. So that's interesting. First up, we have a possessed goat. 1-drop, goat, 1/1, 1 white. Pay 3 colorless, discard a card, put 3 1/1 counters on possessed goat, and it becomes a black demon in addition to its other colors and types. Activate only activate only once. Okay. Next up, we have the Rampaging Soul Rager. 3-drop, 1/4, 2 colorless, 1 red, 1/4. Rampaging Soul Rager gets +3/+0, and as long as there are 2 or more unlocked doors among rooms you control. So he gets +3/+0 if there's 3 or more rooms unlocked. Okay. Get that squared up. Up next is the Spiritual or Spectre Snatcher. 6-drop, 6/5 spirit, 4 colorless, 2 black. Ward, discard a card. Whenever this card becomes the target of spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player discards a card. Swamp Cycling. Alright. So it's like they're bringing out the land cycling cards back, so that mechanic's interesting. Next up, we have the Flesh Burrower. 2-drop, 2/2, 1 colorless, 1 green. Insect, Death Touch. Whenever Flesh Birder attacks, another target creature you control gains Death Touch until end of turn. Yeah, he's burrowing into the skin. That makes sense now. I can actually use words. Unable to Scream is next. 1-drop, Enchant Orma. Enchant creature, 1 blue. Enchant creature loses all abilities and is a toy artifact creature with base power and toughness 0/2 in addition to its other types. As long as the enchanted creature is face down, it can't be turned face up. Okay. Interesting way of kind of locking down the board per se. Next up, we have the Chackling Slasher. Chackling Slasher. 4-drop, 3/3, 3 colorless, 1 black, 3/3 Human Assassin, Death Touch. Cackling Slasher enters with a 1/1 counter on it if a creature died this turn. Alright. Oh, they brought back the Clutch first. Interesting. Clockwork Percussionist. 1-drop, 1/1, 1 black. Monkey Toy. Haste. When Clockwork Percussionist dies, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until the end of your next turn. Okay. Haven't seen Clockwork being used in a while. We have Fear of Failed Tests. Pay 5 drop, 2/7, 4 colorless, 1 blue. Nightmare. Whenever Fear of Failed Test Draw deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. That could be interesting. Next up, we have the Shrewd Storyteller. 3 drop, 3/3, 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white. Human Survivor. Survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if the Shrewd Storyteller is tapped, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Next up, we have the Lionheart Glimmer. 5 drop, 3 colorless, 2 white, 2/5 Cat Glimmer. Ward 2. Whenever you attack, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Next up, we have Under the Skin. 3 drop, 3 drop, sorcery, 2 colorless, 1 green. Manifest Dread. You may return a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Interesting artwork. That's one of probably the alt arts, and so on and so forth. Next up, we have as the rare, we have the Enduring Curiosity. 4 drop, 4/3 Cat Glimmer, 2 colorless, 2 blue. Fear Flash. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw the card. Whenever Enduring Curiosity dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment. It's not a creature. Okay, so you make something. Okay. Be a little confusing, but probably more of a play of the game and figure it out. Then they gave us another forest. And the last card of that pack is the Wildfire Wicker Folk. Wicker Folk. 2 drop, 3/2 Scarecrow, 1 red, 1 green. Haste, Delirium. When Wildfire Wicker Fork enters, Wild Wicker Folk gets +1/+1 and has trample as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. So there's that mouthful of shit. We got 4 packs left. Got a Gremlin token. First up, we have Don't Make a Sound. 2 drop, instant, 1 colorless, 1 blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. If you do, Surveil 1. Or Surveil 2. That's the alternate art. We have Jump Scare. 1 drop, white, instant, until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+2, gains flying, and becomes a horror enchantment creature in addition to its other creature types. Okay. Next up, we have the Ragged Playmate. 2 drop, 2/2, toy, 1 colorless, 1 red. Pay 1 colorless, tap target creature gets with power 2 or less, can't be blocked this turn. Next up, we have Fear of Lost Teeth. 1 black, enchanted creature, nightmare, 1/1. When Fear of Lost Teeth dies, it deals 1 damage to any target, and you gain 1 life. Next up, we have the Cautious Survivor. 4 drop, 4/4, Elf Survivor, 3 colorless, 1 green. Survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Curious Survivor is tapped, you gain 2 life. Next up, we have Trapped in the Screen. 3 drop, enchantment, 2 colorless, 1 white. Ward 2. When Trapped in the Screen enters, exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment an opponent controls until Trapped in the Screen leaves the battlefield. Next up, we have Give In to Violence. 2 drop, instant, 1 colorless, 1 black. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Next up, we have the Sporogenic Infestation. 2 drop, enchantment, 1 colorless, 1 black. Enchant creature when Infinite infection enters, target player sacks a creature other than enchanted creature. Sacks a creature other than the enchanted creature. Enchanted creature is dealt damage, destroy it. Again, a mouthful of stuff. Next up, we have the Violent Urge. 1 drop, instant, 1 red. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn with Delirium. If there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, the creature gains double strike until end of turn. Next up, we have the Rite of the Moth. 4 drop, 1 colorless, 1 white, 2 black. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finale counter on it. Flashback 6. 3 colorless, 2 white, 1 black. Okay. Next up, we have the Fear of Imposters. 3 drop, 3/2 Nightmare. 1 colorless, 2 blue. Flash. Whenever Fear of Imposters enters, counter target spell. Its controller manifests Dread. And the rare of the deck is Chainsaw. 2 drop, artifact equipment, 1 colorless, 1 red. When Chainsaw enters, it deals 3 damage to up to 1 target creature. Whenever 1 or more creature dies, put a rev counter on the Chainsaw. Equipped creature gets +X/+0, where X is the number of rev counters on the Chainsaw. Okay. And then we have a Rakdos Carnival. A Rakdos Carnival enters tapped unless a player has 13 or less life. Add white or red. And then we have the last card of the deck is a Hollow Room. We got Glassworks and Shatter Yard. We already talked about. Okay, we got 3 packs left. Another full art card. This could be probably terrifying. First up, we have Fear of Immobility. 5 drop, 4/4, 4 colorless, 1 white. When Fear of Immobility enters, tap up to 1 target creature. If an opponent controls that creature, put a stun counter on it. If a permanent with a stun counter would become untapped, remove 1 from it instead. Alrighty. First up is a good song, Hand That Feeds. 2 drop, mutant, 1 colorless, 1 red, 2/2. Delirium. Whenever hand That Feeds attacks while there are 4 or more card types among cards in the graveyard, get +2/+0 and gain menace until end of turn. Next up, we have Winter's Intervention. 2 drop, instant, 1 colorless, 1 black. Winter's Intervention deals 2 damage to target creature. You gain 2 life. Intervention. Next up, we have the Wary Watchdog. 2 drop, 3/1 dog, 1 colorless, 1 green. When Wary Watchdog enters or dies, surveil 1. Yeah, Creeping Peeper, we've already talked about. You got a Living Phone. 3 drop, 2/1 toy, 2 colorless, 1 white. When Living Phone dies, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 2 or less from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Clammy Prowler, 4 drop, 2/5 horror, 3 colorless, 1 blue. Whenever Clammy Prowler attacks, another target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. Hey, they brought back Terramorphic Expanse. Tap Sack Terramorphic Expanse, search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Interesting artwork for the Terramorphic Expanse. Next up, we have an Untimely Malfunction, 2-drop, instant, 1 colorless, 1 red. Choose 1 destroy target artifact, change the target of target spell or ability with a single target, or 1 or 2 target creatures can't block this turn. Next up, we have the Wildfire Wickerfolk, we've already talked about. Next up, we have the Overgrown Zealot, 2-drop, 0/4, 1 colorless, 1 green, Elf Druid. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Tap, add 2 mana of any 1 color, or spend this mana only. Add 1 mana of any color, or add 2 mana of any 1 color. Spend this mana only to turn permanents face up. And the mythic of the deck, the rare of the deck is actually a mythic, and it's Hauntwood Streaker, 3-drop or Striker. There we go. 3-drop, 3/3 Beast Mutant, 1 colorless, 2 green. When Havenwood's Shrieker attacks, Manifest Dread. Pay 1 and green. Reveal target face down permanent. If it's a creature card, you may turn it face up. Then we have an island, and then we have I'm gonna butcher the hell out of this name. A Appellendage Amigum. 3-drop, 3/2, 2 colorless, 1 black. Horror flash. Whenever Abinadeg Amiga attacks, surveil 1. I'm gonna butcher the hell out of that name, and I will, and I did. It is what it is. We got 2 packs left. I got another Glimmer token. First up, we have the Dagger Maul Melodon. 6-drop, 5/7, 4 colorless, 2 blue, Vigilance and Island cycling. Next up, we have the Shepherding Spirits, 6-drop, 4/5 Spirit, 4 colorless, 2 white, flying, plane cycling. We have Grab the Prize next, 2 colorless, 2-drop sorcery, 1 colorless, 1 red. An additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards. If the discarded card wasn't a land, Grab the Prize deals 2 damage to each opponent. We got another about a Maligan. And we're just going to put that in there and not try to butcher the hell out of that name. Manifest Dread. Ironically, 2-drop, sorcery, 1 colorless, 1 green. Manifest Dread. That seems redundant, but Enter the Enigma, we already talked about. Next up, we have Monstrous Emergence. 2-drop, sorcery, 1 colorless, 1 green. An additional cost to cast this spell, choose a creature you control or reveal a creature card from your hand. Monstrous Emergence deals damage equal to that power of that creature you choose or the card you revealed the target creature. We have a Split Skin Doll, 2-drop, 2/1 toy, 1 colorless, 1 white, artifact creature toy. When Split Skin Doll enters, draw a card, then discard a card unless you control another creature with power 2 or less. Next up, we have the Defiant Survivor. 3-drop, 3/2, 2 colorless, 1 green. Survival at the beginning of your second main phase. If Defiant Survivor is tapped, Manifest Dread. Next up, the Inquisitive Glimmer. 2-drop, 2/3, Fox Glimmer, 1 white, 1 blue. I love the artwork. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Unlock cost you pay cost 1 less. I love that artwork. That is baller as hell. And next up we have the Vangloff's Onslaught, double X green, manifest dread X times, then put X 1/1 counters on each of those creatures. To manifest dread, look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put one on the battlefield face down and a 2/2 creature and the others into your graveyard. Turn the face up anytime for its mana cost if it's a creature card. That's pretty cool. We got another book, another room. We have the Center Elevator and the Promising Stairs. Enter Center Elevator, 4-drop, enchantment room. When you unlock this door, search your library for a room card that doesn't have the same name as a room you control. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And we have the Promising Stairs, 3-drop, 2 colorless, 1 blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, Surveil 1, you win the game. Wait a second. Beginning of your upkeep, Surveil 1. You win the game if there are 8 or more different names among unlocked doors of the rooms you control. Okay. So they have room. That's a rare of that, actually. So we have a rare room card, win card. Interesting. Next one, we have a Muckery Sewer. Land, Muckery Sewer enters tapped unless a player has 3 or less. Tap green for blue or black. And the last one is the Withering Torment we already talked about. Alright, we got the last pack. If you guys are liking the video, please give it a like. And if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe. So, last interesting artwork. So, first up we have the Scouring Dragonfire. Scorching Dragonfire, 2-drop instant, 1 colorless, 1 red. Scorching Dragonfire deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. We have Incurious Rat, 2-drop, 1/1, 1 colorless, 1 black. When Incurious Rat dies, manifest dread. Next up we have Cryptid Inspector, 3-drop, 2/3 Elf Warrior, 2 colorless, 1 green, Vigilance. When a face-down permanent you control enters and whatever Crypt Inspector or another permanent you control is turned face up, put on 1 counter on the Cryptid Inspector. Next up we have Vanish from Sight, 4-drop instant, target 3 colorless, 1 blue, instant, target non-land permanent owner puts it on top of his bottom of his library, and then Surveil 1. Next up, we have the Acrobatic Cheerleader, 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 white, Human Surveyor. Survival. At the beginning of your second mana step, if Acrobatic Cheerleader is tapped, put a flying counter on it. This ability triggers only once. Glimmering Light, we've already talked about. Frantic Strength, we've already talked about. Norwin, the Swift Survivalist, 1-drop, 2/1, Human Coward, 1 red. Norwin, the Swift Survivalist, can't block. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may exile it. If you may put that card into exile, you may put that card from exile this turn. Okay. Next up we have Internal Armor, 1-drop, Aura, Enchantment Aura, 1 white. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature is +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and first strike. Next we have Nowhere to Hide, Nowhere to Run, 2-drop enchantment, 1 colorless, 1 black. Flash, when Nowhere to Run enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -3/-3 until end of turn. Creatures your opponents control can be the target of spells or abilities as though they didn't have hexproof. Ward abilities or those creatures don't trigger. Okay. Next up we have Skull Snap Nuisance, 2-drop, 1/4, Insect Skeleton, 1 blue, 1 black, flying, Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and whatever you're fully unlocked a room, Surveil 1. We have another Nortskin Needlehead as the rare. We have an Island. And the last one is Sears the Slumber, 5-drop, instant, 4 colorless, 1 white. This spell costs 3 less to cast if it's target tapped creature, destroy target creature. That's it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time, this is Cobble saying have a good night, and we shall see you in the next one.